Hania El Hammamy.
Hello.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Cool. Hania, 2026, world #1. How does it feel to be starting the year at the summit of women's squash?
It feels amazing. One of the New Year resolutions sticked. Yeah, it just feels great, rewarding, and I just think that it's something I've been working on for so long, for my entire career. It's a dream, and I just think that finally the work that it has been put on is paid off.
What changes now between, 2 months ago you were world #2, world #3. What changes between that position and world #1? Like, how does the mindset change? You're in a new year, you're at the top. Do you feel like a different person?
I mean, it all started off with an injury that came in May in the World Championships, and then season ended. I had a long break. New me, rehab, training hard for in the summer break, and then season started. I was in a very good shape. I trained hard. I had new things that I've worked and changed. Um, so I felt good. I've had like a first good win in the diamond event in Egypt, and then a second win in Qatar, and then like there was a good winning streak for me basically, and I felt good, very confident. Um, the level of squash I was producing was amazing, I would say, and then I was mostly thinking about the little things on court every day rather than the bigger picture and becoming the world #1. Um, because let's be honest, I've been thinking about that position for the past 2 years, wanting to escape world #3, chasing them, getting closer to Gohar, getting closer to Sherbini. Yet I'm not that consistent in beating them. They are the ones who are getting the, like, let's take a head to head in a specific year. They would be the ones
Yeah.
getting the higher head to head basically in a specific year. So I just wanted as much as I can to get myself consistent in those matches. Um, and from there, I think I just played freely, a bit more freely, and not thinking about the results and the rankings points. Just think about squash.
Do you think that all stems from the injury? The fact that you had to step away from the court for a little bit of time?
I think, yeah, it's I've learned that once I step back from squash a bit and just see life and just realize that life is not just about squash. There are a lot of things to do off court, and some say a happy person is a happy athlete or a successful athlete. And I truly believe in this sentence, because the moment I feel that I'm enjoying my life, I'm seeing myself someone, a human being other than a squash player. My life depends on squash. I'm I'm a successful person because I'm successful in squash. I'm a happy person because I'm winning. And then I'm a depressed person, emotionally down and heartbroken when I lose. I just hated it, and I thought that with the work I put and the effort and how fighter I am, I just deserve to be a happy person in general. Not let squash dominate my life status.
Try and take your identity out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Be less
Be less
squash
Hania
player.
the squash player.
Yeah.
More of like Hania the nice, the human being, the funny person, the kind person. Just more thinking about spiritually how I could be a good person, a happy person in a good place mentally, and seriously, that's how I can give squash. That's how I find myself, that I want to just do like a massive cardio session today. I'm gonna go on court today. I'm gonna play like a match like no other. I'm gonna perform the match of my life today. That's how it all came for me.
Okay. Because you had to step back.
Stepping back, analyzing a few things, obviously, appreciating a few things in my game and appreciating a few things in my life, and not being too drawn into negatives, finishing another season as world number 3. I'm world number 3 for the 3rd year. What a disappointment. What a failure. Well, no, it's not a failure. It's okay. It's fine. I'm playing against two of the best players in the world. They're gonna respond.
Two of the best players there's ever been.
Yes. They've elevated the game. They've won titles like no other. They've won world championships. They've been dominating world number 1 for so many years. I haven't ticked any of those boxes before, and they surely have more experience than I do, and I just need to be a bit more easy on myself to be able to adjust and learn and come back stronger, and I think the injury and the break, me traveling, seeing my friends having a good time off court and away from squash made me just realize that it's not about squash. Life is not just about squash. And that's basically that change that made me ready for everything that's gonna come for me this season. I remember I came off this injury, I did my rehab, I finished, and then I started training, and I was like, let's get going. I'm ready for this season. I wanna start.
Is that a different mentality that the seasons before?
It definitely is, because I've never felt that ready before in my entire life. Like I've been asked this like pre-season, what's your prediction? What do you think you're gonna do this season? I was like, I can literally just quote what I said, but it was more of like, no, I'm gonna be something else. And honestly, like, maybe when you say just words and nothing happens, you just start to think that you just need to shut up. But what happened is I basically just started the season like no other. In my own word, in my own terms, I've never done what I've done this season before.
Yeah.
So it just made me believe more in what I'm doing and the work I've done, and how I should be addressing my mental state a bit more and step away when I need to step away and then come back when I'm ready.
To be feeling like that, to get to world number 1, and in the process have your main rival step away from the court, is there a little bit of you that's a little bit disappointed? Maybe isn't the right word, but is there a desire to be able to like prove it against her, if you know what I mean? Is the fact that she's not on tour taking a little bit?
I mean, it's funny because I've got people coming to me and saying, you must be relieved, you must be glad that she's out. And believe me when I say it definitely, like, a piece of me died when she kind of went away for a while. And I've had a lot of convos with Danny about how I should be approaching the events and how I should be mentally prepared, because it took a lot of energy and a lot of like hunger to play against her. And when she's out, the hunger and motivation is not as high as it is, and the competition gets a bit different, things gets a bit less intense in a way. That's what I play squash. I want this type of rivalries, and then when you win those battles, that's when you think that this is why you're playing, so you can feel the adrenaline after that match. I feel that you got there, you played under pressure, we both kind of give it all, and whoever played the best and handled the emotions better won. And I know that I'm not gonna feel this tension again unless she's back. No one else on tour gives me this kind of tension in my body, in my brain, in everything. And obviously I would have loved getting this position playing against her in recent events, or beating her in a final and getting the world number 1 after a specific result against her. Obviously, because she was the like current world number 1. But I'm sure she's gonna be back, and I'm sure we're gonna have more battles, and I'm sure we're gonna both fight for this position one day again. So in fact, it kind of like relieved me in a way, because I knew that it will come eventually. I just need to focus on performing well and just focus on the things that I've worked on in the summer, and try to kind of get better every day, and not focus about the rankings. Um, and I'm sure I'm sure with my personality, I knew that I'm gonna find motivation elsewhere when she's not around, and I did, and I think the competition is getting higher and higher as well with all the other players knowing that she's out as well. They want to take advantage of that as
Yeah,
well.
of
So
course.
they're trying to raise their game in their own way. So it kind of makes me on my toes a bit. And as I said, it's a new experience. So being world number one now makes everyone chasing me. So it's another way of motivating myself and finding reasons to be eager to go to the events and be sharp from the beginning, not just for big matches such as the ones I had with Nouran.
Because now you're going to be the hunted, right? Because for
Exactly.
your entire career so far, you've been chasing somebody.
Yeah.
You're now going to be the one being chased. Have you actually had time to kind of process that change in how it's going to be when you go to the next tournament?
I mean, so far I've been, for my entire career so far, I've been the underdog. I've been chasing the top players. I've been chasing Gohar and Shirbini, and now being the world number one, obviously everyone's gonna be chasing me. Everyone's gonna be watching me and trying to figure out what I'm doing and try to win. And obviously, since I got that position, the last two events weren't going great in a way. Not just for the results, but I knew that my performances, I was basically just looking at the performance, not the result. And I was able to see that I wasn't performing as high as I was in the beginning of the season.
Do you think is that because of the number one subconsciously? Do you think?
Well, you can't underestimate the pressure and the expectations you have when you get to world number one. That's one thing, but most importantly, it was a new experience for me. I've never had a patch where I'm winning 2 titles back to back, let alone 3 big titles, and then getting to world number one. So this is for me a big step mentally, and the highs and the lows that I got in the middle. I won an event, I won a diamond after coming back from injury and stopping my season earlier than everybody else. So I kind of went into highs so quickly, and then I had to manage my emotions and then win the second event, and then manage my emotions and win the third. And then the biggest achievement is reaching my dream since I was a kid is world number one. So the whole loop is so big that so many people wouldn't understand how it's like unsettling emotionally, even though it's great. But it's in the middle of the season, you have loads to come, you have the biggest events coming towards the second half of the season, and you still want to be ready for those events as well. So that's what I meant by I'm trying to figure a few things out since I've become world number one, and it's definitely a big challenge, and I'm pretty sure all the former world number ones would have gone through this one way or another, and they might have struggled to an extent and then came back and learned and definitely just bounced back from the losses.
Well, you said unsettling. Like for the average person, right? You've just become world number one. You must just be happy. What else can you be feeling other than happiness? Like, just tell me a little bit more about. You said unsettling. It's difficult to manage the emotional side of it. What does that actually look like? Like, what are the thoughts? What are the things that you're having to deal with that you've not dealt with before?
It's more of like, when I started the season, nobody was really talking about me. It's not about me. It's about all the players. I'm world number 3. Eyes are not on me, basically. And then eyes starts to be on you. And then when you get to world number 1, like everyone is talking about your achievement. The story is all about you. You're writing your own history. And then as much as you want to avoid getting into the story, and as much as you want to be focusing on yourself and not the overall social media or the people talk, the noise, exactly, the noise around you, it's hard. And as much as you try to isolate yourself from it, it will still haunt you in a way, because that's the perks of being very good at your sport. And obviously, as I said, it's something to deal with, and it's definitely something that everyone has gone through. Every top player has gone through. It's just a matter of how quickly I can adjust, how quickly can I stop letting that noise get into me.
Does that mean, because you sort of said there a little while ago that your expectation was maybe to get to number 1 by the end of the season. The fact that it's happened midway through the season, have you now had to completely go back and kind of reset change the objectives, change the ambitions for the next 4 or 5 months? Like, has it kind of completely flipped your view of your year around? And how do you actually deal with that? How do you do that?
It's hard when it happens mid-season, when you've worked your entire life to get to a goal, which is being number one, and then it happens mid-season. I had to find a way to kind of, I'm still working on it, obviously, but I think I need to flip the coin a bit and try to set new goals for myself, maybe like very short-term goals to keep myself going a bit, and not think a lot about the whole picture, and maybe find like daily tasks, daily things that I need to work on to kind of motivate myself.
Okay.
For one thing, I thought about trying to tick and win every single title I haven't won so far in my
Okay,
career.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was one way of kind of maybe addressing my attention towards certain events more than the others, not get too down if I haven't done very well in one event, but mainly just try as much as I can to push myself for a certain one. And obviously, the other thing is trying as much as I can to maintain the world number one spot, and try as much as I can to like close the gap a bit between me and the other players behind me, and try to end the season as world number one. That would be mainly the two things that I think could help me find motivation and just flip the coin.
One of the things you said a bit earlier as well was you didn't have that moment. You know, you didn't have that. I beat Nouran Gohar in the final of the event to become the world number one and lift the trophy. It was like a Monday. I think you were first round of the China Open or something. Does that feel a bit weird?
I kind of disagree, because in my perspective, I had to do something. It was winning the
yes,
US Open.
yes.
It was basically winning the US Open that would make me the world number one, and that is why I had like a very emotional celebration after winning the final. It wasn't about winning the event, thrill of not dropping a game, reaching the final for the third time, winning the third title. It was more of like, I knew that winning this title is gonna get me to world number one, and that's a full stop,
Yeah.
you know. And
So the actual day when it happens isn't really.
it was the US Open final. That's when it was the final of the US Open. That was the day I knew that I'm playing for world number one. Today I'm playing for world number one. I would have loved to be playing Gohar in that final.
Yeah.
But I was playing Amina, and Amina is currently probably the next Gohar.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was basically like, in my head, it was quite similar. She's very hungry. She's fearless. She believes she can win anyone.
Yeah.
And basically it was as hard mentally for me than Gohar. As Gohar, I mean, it was as hard as playing Gohar, because it was playing for number one.
Take you back a bit about Nouran as well. You sort of said, you know, you would like to have her on tour, to be continuing to have those battles. A lot of that, I guess, is because without her, you wouldn't be the player you are right now, because you guys have had a rivalry for a decade, maybe longer, back to being young teenagers on tour. How important has she actually been in your development as a player? Because you've had a pretty fierce rivalry, and then, you know, you've had some moments that have gone viral and some like back and forth, and then you seem to be sort of not necessarily friendly, but a bit less aggressive with each other again. She seems to have played a massive role in your development as a player. Like,
her contribution to the player I am today is vital, and I'm definitely glad that I had to go through those trendy stuff that has been on social media that made everyone feel that the rivalry is very feisty and fiery, because it definitely made me not allow this to happen in the later stages of our battles. I feel that before she got pregnant, everyone was looking forward to our battles, and everyone is kind of like waiting for that semi-final, waiting for that final, and they get a bit disappointed with what they see, because they don't see those like long matches, those like referee interactions a lot. And that all happened because I stopped allowing it. I stopped allowing those types of behaviors to get into me, and that's why the matches have become more about squash, less about refereeing, less about emotional disturbance. And if it wasn't for her, I would have still been the same emotional player on court, because you don't see that happen with any other player except her.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we're both very aggressive on court in a different way. We're both very competitive. We hate to lose. And when you get two opponents with the same personality and with the same kind of hunger, we'll clash.
Yeah.
We both want to set our grounds. We want to win the battle. So it gets a bit feisty. And I had to stop feeding her off with this kind of anger, because it seemed that she's the one who's getting the better out of me.
So that was a conscious decision that the next time I'm playing Nouran, I'm going to keep those emotions in control a bit.
It was a decision, but it was hard to do. Like, definitely, it took me loads of conversations, loads of like psychological understanding of what's happening when I play against her specifically. And thanks to Danny, I would have never been able to change that and switch to a different person.
Is there a personal dislike between the two of you, or is it just because your matches were always crazy to the onlooker?
I mean, there's nothing wrong between both of us. Of course, there was never an incident.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened. It was more of like, as I said, we're so similar. I think on court, it's just a clash of, I want to be there. I want to be the winner, and I used to be emotional. She's emotional, I guess, in a way, and I think it's just, we're there. We're both champions. We want to win. We don't want to settle for less, and that's what happens when you have two champions trying to win a match.
Yeah, and you said you sort of feel like Amina is cut from the same type of mold as Nouran as well. Do you feel like there's a potential rivalry coming there in the next few years between you and her?
With Amina, it's different, I think, because it's not as intense as it was with Gohar in terms of.
Well, I guess there's a big age difference, right?
The age difference makes the possibility of having like a future rivalry, makes the possibility high, and definitely, if I keep playing for, let's say, 8 more years, I'm definitely gonna be playing against her for so long, and we were already playing finals together, so I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be battling for the world #1 spot for as long as I can imagine. But it's different with her because she's the underdog now, and when I was coming and I was chasing the top players, I was the underdog playing Gohar, so it was definitely a bit different.
Yeah. How much is because obviously you're working with Laura, you've been working with Laura for two years?
2 years and a half, yeah.
3
years, actually.
She obviously was world #1, not for a very long period of time. Have you guys been able to have conversations from her experiences that she's been able to?
Well, yeah, definitely. We're now talking about it. We're now trying to adjust it and trying to go with the flow a bit more, understand the experience. But one thing we've learned, that as much as we can talk about it and as much as someone can prepare me for something, I would never understand it unless I'm in it. And that was basically something that I hugely understood after I've lost that final in the World Championships, because the amount of pain that I got from that loss was massive, and no one would have told me anything before the match that could have kind of let me sleep at night.
Right.
And it's definitely something huge. And we were talking about her experience after becoming world #1, and she was telling me how playing as an underdog was the main thing for her, and she wasn't able to play as the chased player. So she's definitely trying to contribute and help me, knowing that she didn't deal with it well. So definitely I have an experience that I can learn from, and on the other hand, I have another experience that I can definitely learn from, which is Karim Darwish. He's been at the top of the game, world #1 for so many years. He's been dominating for so long. So I think I have both stories
to
learn from.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm very lucky, obviously, to be able to hear from a female that was struggling emotionally from being at the very top of
Yeah.
the game, and then trying to learn from a man that has been at the very top of the game, dominating. There's definitely huge things to learn from both of them.
Yeah. And I guess sort of one of the things with Laura was world number one, not being able to keep it. But she did win the world championships, which you just kind of referred to, your final last year in the last world champs. That must be the next goal. You've kind of ticked off nearly everything else in terms of
Yeah.
the big things. So the world championship is the bit that's missing from the puzzle.
Yes.
Do you have to be really careful now not to put too much pressure on yourself around that one thing, especially having come so close last year?
Yeah, I mean, like, knowing what happened to me last year in that final, I knew I was playing. I was probably the best player at that time, and I knew that if I've beaten Gohar, I've beaten the world number one. I'm better, and I think I was playing really, really well, and I've been beating Sherbini 2 times before that final, and it was basically me establishing myself and just knowing that if I keep playing the way I was playing, then I'll probably win the event. But I just underestimated everything. I wasn't thinking about the title. I was just thinking about, you can't lose this. You're playing well. You've prepared well. You've trained. You're playing well. And then I didn't put into consideration how the match and the title and the trophy right in front of me is gonna draw my attention somewhere else, basically. It was just hard. The whole experience was hard. Even the day before the semi-final was hard. I'm pretty sure, like, anyone who's competing in the semi-finals and the finals in the world champs would be experiencing the same feelings, basically struggling to sleep, struggling to do anything but thinking about the match, which is very, very hard. So yeah, just playing against Sherbini. She's been in this position for so long, and many times, 8 times world champion. So definitely she's the only one who knows how to deal with this exact situation. And when, if you're playing your best squash, you're on top of your game, and you're playing against her in a final, even if she's not on a good form, she's gonna definitely step it up. And that's what she did, basically, with a little bit of dropping from me, and she's stepping up, then it definitely went.
She knows how to win.
Yeah.
Are you sort of saying a little bit there that because you'd beaten Nouran, you were the best player probably on form, you had beaten Sherbini beforehand? Was there a little bit of you that thought, I can't lose? Is that what you're saying? That it was sort of, not that I'm taking it for granted I'm definitely going to win tomorrow, but almost feeling like I'm bound to win because I'm the best player. She's not been playing well. I beat her before.
It wasn't like a certain thought
But-
in
but-
my
but-
head,
but
but
there
it
was a
was more
little
of
bit.
like, I'm playing for it. I'm playing in a position that I've dreamt of my entire life. I have a game plan. I know how to beat Sherbini. I've done it so many times before. I've been playing well throughout the whole event. It's not like I've been trying to find my way into the event, just progressing
Yeah.
with each match. I was on good form. I was playing well. I had a good match against Gohar the other night, so it should be giving me more confidence. It's just like the venue, the trophy next to me, everything just, even stepping on court with Sherbini in that final, her aura was different that day. I could tell that she knows what she's up for. She knows what she's gonna do today. She knows the feelings. She knows how to deal with them. And in a way, I was more into my shallow that day. It was just very hard to step up and show up and play your game, the natural game.
But like you said earlier, the noise, the background stuff, not able to just put it away and focus on the squash.
I don't think that day I was really focused on the noise. I did my part. I know that I've kind of like silenced my phone for the entire day, and I did like my part in not drawing my attention elsewhere. It was more of like, seriously, it was a rough night. You can go to sleep, you can't do anything but thinking about the match. Like, I remember I called Danny and I was like, Danny, I need some help. I can't stop thinking about the match, the butterflies. visualizing myself holding the trophy, visualizing myself doing this and that, and it takes your mind off the game plan. It takes your mind off what you really need to do on court, and basically that's how tough, and that's what people will never understand unless they are playing for it, unless they are in this exact moment.
Because it should just be a squash match.
It should be just a squash match. Just think about where you want to put the ball in the wall, where you want it to stop, how you want to move your opponent, what you need to do, how you want to warm up, how you want to deal with a certain element on court. Nothing. Your mind is not there.
Trophy's distracting.
It is. That one specifically.
That is front of mind then in terms of the next 6 months.
Yes.
Getting that title.
Yes. I think I don't want to draw my attention towards it as much as you think. Definitely on top of my mind, and I want to train for it, and I want to be using the next 6 months, the next 5-6 months, approaching that event to just be performing my best for this one. But I still think that I'm gonna use the next month to be a good preparation for the event. Like, I'm gonna use the next events as, in my mind, I wanna say like testing events, like probably training events.
Yeah, okay.
To kind of prepare myself,
build up towards
build up to that one.
Okay.
One thing happened that I've started the season really, really well, and then obviously there will be a dip. You don't want to know when the dip is coming, and I would really love to see myself not dip when the time comes for the World Champs.
Well, one of the things you've said, I think you said quite a lot in the last year, 2025. Maybe remember you saying the same thing in 2024, was sort of more to come. This kind of a phrase that you would come out with now and again is, I feel like I've got more to come. Now that you're at the top of the tree, you are the world number one. Do you still feel like there's more to come from you? There's still more development as a player?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm certain, because I think that I'm nowhere near my peak. I know that I've got loads to come. I know that I have loads of things to improve on court. And I always look at Sherbini in this aspect, because I feel like she's already, like, she's done everything in the game. She's won so many titles already, and yet she's still improving every day. And if she would have stopped when she first became a world number one and never improved, she would have never been playing that specific level she's playing at the moment. When you look at how she was playing 5 years ago, you would never believe that she could be playing how she is at the moment. And that's how the game evolves, and that's how players just elevate the game and try to kind of like push each other to the best, and that's how the game changes in general. So I'm pretty sure that in 3 years' time, when Amina's still in the mix and she's winning titles and she's probably competing for that world number one a bit more, and she got it and then she loses it, we will keep on elevating each other, and I will have to work on things, and I will have to improve. With age, I will have to play differently as well. I'm pretty sure that one day, I know one of my strengths is in my physicality, and I'm pretty sure at some point I will have to rely on something else. I will have to play cleverer squash, more wise. And that is all part of the process. That's all part of the improvements that I will have to kind of start working on from now, and build up on how I could be clever on court and just play a bit accurately. There's loads of things I can improve, I'm sure.
Is that an exciting feeling, to know that you're world number one, but there's still more there?
Yeah, definitely. And the problem is with being world number one, and the problem is when you don't have time to celebrate your achievement, is that you get drawn into the events. You get drawn that you have an event next week. You shouldn't be too high about an achievement, and you forget about the excitement. You forget about the things you want to improve. But then when you have a time like this after Hong Kong, and you had like 2 months of a break after Hong Kong until COC, that's when you kind of stop for a bit and look from it outside and analyze the matches, analyze what you've done, appreciate things, and then go again. And I felt that I really needed that break after Hong Kong Open. I felt that I need to stop and then appreciate what I've done, celebrate a bit, and then go back, see what I've done wrong, why things started to be falling off after becoming world number one, how can I improve, what things people are targeting in my game at the moment since I've become world number one, and how I can basically change that and flip the coin again. So that's what's exciting. It's just being still for a moment and not getting drawn into everything, and being fast paced in a way in everything you do in your life, not just squash.
Did you get to celebrate being world number one?
I did. Eventually I did, yeah.
Not at the time when it happened.
Not at the time.
What did you do?
I just went out with my friends and we partied, we had good time, and yeah.
Good.
That's it.
I'll ask no more questions. You said as well there, at some point the physicality will drop off. What's crazy is you've been on tour already for probably, I think you won your first title in 2015, which is a decade ago.
Yeah.
So you've already been on tour at the top of the game for a very long time. If you kind of throw yourself back to that 2015, I think you were 14 when you won a title. At that point in time, could you imagine being world number one? Could you imagine being the player you are right now?
I mean, as a kid, you have a dream of being world number one. You're looking at the current world number one and you're just admiring them, trying to learn from them. I remember I used to watch like all the top players and try to imitate them, try to imitate how they put their hair up, how to do this and that. I was just young, and I was excited, happy, and I knew I had a good potential to be a champion one day and be world number one. So I think I had that on my mind, but I've never had on my mind the performance and the level that I could really, really get to.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm definitely proud of how I'm playing the game, and I'm really happy with how I'm playing it and how open I am to learn different aspects in my game, and be patient about learning things that I can't even do. Like sometimes I feel that I get on court and I'm just learning something that I'm not capable of doing at all, but then slowly but surely I get into it, and then I learn it, and then I master it, and then I build upon it and try to add something else on it. So it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting, and as long as I'm in a good place, I feel that I can definitely improve, and I can definitely see a bigger vision for myself.
You talked about when you were coming up in Egypt, emulating the players above you. You obviously grew up and were coming through when it was probably Omnia, and then Raneem, and then Sherbini. Egyptian women that were taking the game to a new level every generation after generation, so to speak. From my understanding, women's squash in Egypt was basically non-existent like a decade before Omnia. To now be kind of, after Nouran, the next Egyptian at the top of the game, to be leading the Egyptians. Is there a lot of pride in that?
I mean, definitely being like having my name with them as part of the club of becoming world number one and dominating the game is just huge. And you've been asking about my vision in the next 5 years. I just want to inspire as many kids as I can, basically, whether in Egypt or everywhere in the world. I know like squash is becoming bigger and bigger. People are starting to watch it a bit more now. Leading up to the Olympics, people will start to watch it a bit more and more. So I think just trying to inspire as much kids as I can, as many kids as I can, will be like something that I'll be really, really proud of. And again, putting my name with them in the history of people on top of the game, that just means a lot for me.
The way you're talking, it feels like there's been a bit of maturity in Hania over the last maybe 2 years. Go back to that 14-year-old winning a title. I can remember you around 2019. I have a very vivid memory of you at the Pyramids when you lost in the semi-finals.
I know you.
I have a great photograph of
You're
you.
the one who took that photo, right?
One of my favorite photographs. You probably hate it, but you came off. I think you beat Camille in the quarters, and you lost in the semis.
Sherbini in 3.
And you're over by the pyramids of Giza in the background, and you've chucked your racket miles into the desert, and you're obviously very, very upset. But it felt like young Hania was always putting an awful lot of expectation and pressure on herself. it was almost, you know, at 18, you were pressure and expecting yourself to be the world number one already. But the way you talk in the last year, that seems to have changed. Is that an accurate assessment? Has your mindset shifted a bit?
It did. I feel that at the time, up until like a year and a half from today, I think that desperation was something that I was carrying.
Desperation.
Yeah. I feel like I was always desperate for a win. I was always desperate to become the world number one. I'm too close to do this, but I'm desperate for it, so I don't get it. And anything you're desperate for, you never get it. And it was, let's be honest now, obviously it has been years since this incident, but I've beaten Camille in 5 to get into my first semi-final in the World Championships. I'm playing against Sherbini. I should be happy. I should be proud of myself. But that's what happens when you're inside. You don't look in the bigger picture. You don't appreciate. And that's what I was saying about getting into world number one mid-season. I didn't get to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really drawn into other stuff. I'm really drawn into hope, believing that I can get there, believing that, which is a good thing, because at this time I'm playing against Sherbini, I have like a huge belief that I can go there and I can beat her. And putting no consideration to who she is, who I'm playing against, her achievements, zero, nothing. And that's what make Egyptians very, very hungry and very successful, because yes, we respect each other, but we still know that we have a lot inside us and we can win any match, any battle. And it grows, but it goes differently. It grows with maturity. And I think that's what I've done throughout the years, knowing, still having this belief inside, but growing it differently, growing it with less desperation. And
Was there any one thing that made you, if you said it was like, I'm desperate to win, was there any one thing that then changed that?
it's experience, I would say. Experience, losses, heartbreaks.
I feel like that smile says there's a story that I don't want to tell.
No, but I mean, it's like endless conversations with Danny. I mean, Danny has helped me a lot to figure myself out mentally and psychologically. I know people might have looked at me now and talk about how I've improved my squash, how I'm playing differently on court, but all of that just came from a better mental space, and the things that I've tried to change internally to be able to be as free on court as everybody's seeing me at the moment is just like a lot of work and understanding of the psychology, basically. And so many players don't believe in psychology and so many players don't think it helps, but I personally think it made a huge difference in my game in the last year.
That's interesting, because I think I remember talking to Ali about something similar, and I think he said, like, in Egypt, I don't know if it's culturally, but the sort of psychology is not really seen as being a real thing. Is that is that sort of an accurate way of describing that nobody values what's going
A
on
little bit.
inside
I
you?
feel like Egyptians are those type of people that just get on with things. We just want to play squash. We're very good. We just focus on the drives, focus on this and this and this, and then do this tactic, and then you're gonna win. Who cares about psychology? Who cares about mental health? It's not as big as like people don't understand how big it is, like, to be healthy and you're in a good place, and things naturally just come when you're in a good place. And it, I mean, well, everybody does what they want, but for me, I felt that this part of the game, psychology itself, just made me a different person.
And that's largely down to Danny
Definitely.
Massaro.
Yes.
So you have a kind of 1-2 combination here. Laura, you said already the emotional side of things, which I'm a guy, so I obviously can't comment on it. But I guess having a female coach who's dealt with the emotions and gone through the same things is in some ways, it's obviously different to a male coach, but you can draw on Laura's experience from playing, competing emotionally. Danny's a big, deep thinker of the game.
Well, he's been her husband. He's been traveling with her to all the
Gone
events.
through
He's
the
seen
whole thing,
everything
yeah.
with her. So when I just say something to him, it's not a surprise. He definitely knew it. He saw it coming before I even knew it. And the amount of times I see my phone ringing, Danny just wants to speak to me before a certain match. I had no idea that I want to hear specific words, and he just pops up, rings, and he just wants to say something specific, and then it just makes a difference without you even knowing. Like, I didn't want to speak to Danny today before my match. I was just going about my day, just drinking my coffee, just relaxing in the room, and then, hey Hania, I just wanted to catch up with you and just say a few things, and then here we go, an hour on the phone. But it's really helpful and very relieving after.
What led you to start working with them? Because a lot of the Egyptian players are Egyptian coaches in Egypt, in Cairo or Alexandria, wherever they're based. This is the UK. Danny and Laura's, base is very far from you. What led you to come here and seek their kind of advice and input on your game?
Well, it all started first with me and Laura, and then obviously when I started to work with Laura and just came here a few times, that's when, because I'm every time I'm here, I stay at their house. They're very welcoming, and I'm definitely happy that I have a second home here in the UK. So this is when Danny and I started. When I started to come here to the UK, just sitting at their house, and this is how convo started. And then I found myself ringing and asking for advices and stuff. How Laura and I started was basically, I had the loss in Paris 3 years ago against Sabrina Sobhi in the third round, I think. I had like a scare against Tina the other day. I've won in 5, and then I played against Sabrina. It was at the beginning of the season as well, so I felt like there's something off in how I'm playing. I need some help. I felt that technically I wasn't how I wanted, basically. Knowing how she plays, knowing her game, and I knew how accurate and detailed she was in the way she was playing. I thought that maybe she can contribute to my game massively and change loads of things and help technically. She was there doing some commentating in Paris, and that's how I set up a meeting with her. I texted her and said, "Can I grab a coffee with you and speak to you about my game?" And then that's how it started. Basically, it was more of like mentoring thing, and calling her, asking her advice, watching some stuff with me, analyzing few things, and then it grew from here. I felt that I'm really happy. I felt like she can help a lot, so I came here, and then it grew and grew and grew from there.
It seems to be working.
It is.
for now. On coaches, how did it feel when you saw Haitham on the other side? Because he was your coach. Was he your coach most of your junior career?
Yes.
Up until he moved to America?
Yeah.
So obviously you'd been coached by Haitham for a long time, looking for your own new coaching setup and everything, to then see Haitham in Nouran's corner. Was that a difficult thing to process?
It wasn't easy. I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy for Gohar as well when she saw Omar being on my side. So it was more of it was a complicated situation for everyone, I think. It was hard because Haitham had been my coach for my entire, half of my career. And most of my achievements were with him, and we've spoken about dreams of becoming world #1 together. He got me to world #3, which was the biggest achievement in my career at the time. So he's been like an older brother to me as well. We traveled together, we had fun together. I've been to his wedding, and it's been really, really a big thing. Obviously, when he first said that he wanted to move to the US, and not having him around anymore was already a big heartbreak for me. Yeah, and then when I saw him in her corner, it was definitely hard, but it's his job, and as much as I want to be successful, I want to see my way to the top of the game, he definitely wanted to see his way as well. He was very respectful, obviously, and he texted me, messaged me, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Nouran's corner in the next event," which was gonna be in Cairo. So I didn't want it to be a surprise to you, and I just wanna make sure you know, so it doesn't get awkward and stuff. And already that was enough for me to kind of know how much he cares about me, how much he didn't want to hurt me, and then that was it. It was more of I know the game gets very rough and people likes to make the drama. So everything just seemed,
especially when it's with you and Nouran.
yeah, exactly.
People are
So
looking for
I
things.
think things looked a bit spicy than how it actually is.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, it's just a sports. It's just a game, and Haitham and I will forever have like a good relationship. He's been an older brother, as I mentioned, and I will forever be grateful that he's been with me in like. He's definitely one of the people who had an impact on how I'm playing the game and
Yeah.
how I've been able to evolve ever since he taught me a few things and then I had to build up on them. So I can never ever forget the work he's done with me, basically.
Yeah. Going back, Haitham was your coach as a junior. You had a long rivalry with Nouran. You also had this kind of relationship with the World Juniors where you kept getting to the final and losing it. Maybe it comes back to pressure. We talked about earlier. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. But from a young age, was it obvious that you were, like you were going to be a World Junior champion? Like, were you a standout talent as a young kid on the squash court?
I think I was, and that was basically it comes back to why I've been losing those finals in the World Juniors. And I think because I had lots of expectations from myself and from people around me, it didn't, as a kid, as a junior, I couldn't deal with them properly. And
Was that coming from having success as a kid? Like when you played tournaments, did you win? And therefore,
I think so. I think knowing that I've been national champion for so many years in all group ages, basically, and then when I go to the British Junior Open, I've been winning. I've won all the group ages in the British Junior Open, so I was mostly seeded one in the World Juniors as well when I lost those finals.
Yeah.
So it was more of like people expecting the seeded number one to win the event. People are expecting the national champion to win those events, So it just came from there. And I think like as much as I remember how gutted and disappointed and depressed I was at that time, but those experiences of the World Juniors just came to teach me a lesson before I approached the professional level. And I'm hoping that when I get to that position again, when I'm playing in another World Championship final, that I really use the knowledge and experience that I've gotten from the juniors and from all the events that I've played in my professional career so far.
And am I right in saying it was your brother that was the reason you got playing the game? Because he was a World Junior champion.
He was a World Junior champion. I've watched him with my own eyes win his World Championship final against Faris Dessouki, and it was the complete opposite. Like I think Faris was seeded number one. He was the one who everyone's betting on. Everyone is expecting him to win, and then Karim just made the surprise and won the event.
Was your brother the impetus behind you wanting to like give it a go as a pro player? Was it kind of because he's about 6 years older than you?
He's 5 years older.
What was kind of him winning, you being kind of 13?
Not really. Actually, I've always been really admiring squash, passionate about it. There's this time when you're gonna finish your high school, and then you need to decide whether you want to go to the US and play for Ivy Leagues and stuff. And then in the British Junior Open, this is where everybody comes and approaches like top athletes and wonder whether
the colleges come to you.
So I remember I've got loads of like offers from Harvard and other universities, and I just said I'm not gonna do the SAT. This is not my thing. I'm not even gonna try to do the exam. I'm not into that at all. I just want to play squash. I'm very into it. I'm passionate about it. I have a lot of expectations from myself for it. I see myself as a squash player. And ironically, I honestly think that I don't do loads of stuff in my life but squash. Sometimes I feel like I'm just born to play squash, which is something that I've tried to change in the past year. I've tried to find other things to draw my attention into and learn new things, read stuff, and just find myself a bit away from squash because I've started to learn that it's not the best way to be totally into something.
Right, yeah. Can you share any insights into what Are you picking up the guitar? Or what are the new things that you're looking at?
Well, recently I've been going to play some pool with my brother.
Pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I realized that I suck at pool, and then he goes a lot to play pool, so I started to go with him a couple of times and just trying to learn how to hit a ball basically into the pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll look out for you on the World Pool Tour in 20 years,
Yeah.
maybe.
Switch of careers.
Were you similar to a lot of the other Egyptian kids that, there's like gymnastics and swimming or kind of fundamental things? Did you do a lot of other sports as well?
That's what I started. I've done gymnastics, I've done swimming. I suck at swimming. I don't know how to swim. It's funny how when I'm injured and I can do like loads of cardio stuff and track stuff, they always tell me, "Oh, you want to do some cardio? Just get into the pool and swim." And I'm like, I can't swim. I don't know how to swim. And
Wow.
I'm always like during summertime, I'm with my friends. I just sit by the shore. I'm not gonna get inside. You just go there, do your thing, and I'm waiting outside. So yeah, I don't know how to swim basically.
Just looking ahead then to the next few months, Hania, you obviously said the World Champs is the main kind of target, the main thing to add to the puzzle. But what else are you kind of hoping? Like, do you have other specific goals that you want to achieve in the game? Now you've ticked off World No.1. Kind of how do you feel looking ahead to the next year, 2, 5, LA?
Well, every time I'm being asked about LA and the Olympics, I don't feel that I have an answer, and I obviously don't feel like I want to be really caught up with it, and especially if I've got things that I haven't done in the recent times, and I feel like something I've been working on as well is staying in the present as much as I can and not looking into the future and predicting and basically when I stopped being desperate and stopped looking to the future and being World No.1, that's when it happened like this, you know? So again, I'm just trying to stay here and play good squash, improve whatever weaknesses that pops up every now and then, and just if I try to maintain World No.1, if I play well, if I just like elevate the game, I see myself elevating the game, and I see I'm trying to see squash differently now that I've reached something new. I have to figure out the new goals in a way, and then with every season being done, I will have to still like readjust and kind of write new things, new goals to keep me going. And basically the Olympics just comes at the end of them because I feel that the World Champs is the most important thing so far. Speaking from a place where I haven't gotten it yet, so it's most important for me now to just try to tick what is missing, and maybe if I get to win it this year, then maybe I'll start to think about the Olympics, but I'm not there yet. Maintaining World No.1 is probably gonna be just enough to play the Olympics. So it all comes back to how I can elevate the game, how I can stay dominant, and that's basically the work that would get me there.
Hania, for World Championships, for maybe LA Olympics, for leaving a legacy when you get to the end of your career, hopefully in many, many years. Thank you very much for your time today.
Nathan.
And we'll look forward to watching you over the next months and years.